Welcome back into Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. We have another coaching firing, and it just so happened.
The greatest coaching cycle of all time is coming up. The greatest.
Yeah, and
this is the great reset.
It could get a lot more interesting. I mean, Hugh Freeze
coming.
We'll see. I mean, listen,
Wisconsin could be.
Dabo Swinney. I don't know that Dabo Swinney will be fired from Clemson, but maybe he's tired of the noise in Clemson and he wants to fire a new one. And all of a sudden, Clemson goes over.
Norvell's not safe.
Mike Norvell's certainly not safe.
This is the great reset.
And Steve Sarkisian, there's murmurs. I don't know how much truth there are, but The Athletic has reported that he's, reached out to NFL teams saying there could be some
crazy
mutual interest. And of course, Steve Sarkisian's like, I'm really pissed about that, but it's bullshit. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's completely
true.
It's very possible that it is true, no matter what Steve Sarkisian says.
First huge disappointment of a Texas season in terms of preseason expectations, and this comes out. Come on, that is not a fucking coincidence.
But the big one we had was Brian Kelly. Very similar to kind of the way things just kind of escalated so quickly, like at Penn State with James Franklin. I mean, seriously, a month ago, this team was the third-ranked team in the country. 8 weeks ago, they were coming off this huge win at Clemson that everyone thought was going to be much better than it turned out being. And things just kept getting worse. And I read some things about a meeting with Scott Woodward, him wanting to make changes to his staff. He kind of hesitated. Things got really bad in that conversation really quick. And next thing you know, they are talking about parting ways. Now, LSU, to me, instantly becomes the top job available unless a job like Texas comes available. But it will be very interesting to see which of the candidates that are currently at their respective schools, if any, consider taking one of these jobs. Because
rank the openings.
To me,
you can include Auburn.
To me, it's LSU, Florida, Auburn, Penn State.
You think Auburn's ahead of Penn State?
I think Auburn might be ahead of Florida. I think Auburn's an unbelievable job. I think they have full support and commitment from everybody. I think
that's crazy.
I think Auburn is an unbelievable. I might even rank it out of Florida. I think Auburn is a great job, a great great job in a hotbed spot. I think the Penn State thing, not being in Penn State,
Penn State's getting a lot of hate.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think this is a huge gap. If someone was out there and said Penn State, I'm not going to call you an idiot. That's fair, especially in today's world. Where
I think what people might into the future think that Penn State isn't as good of a job as the three that you just mentioned is because the talent gap between former coaches and then new or future current coaches is going to be huge. James Franklin was by far and away the best coach of those four that we just mentioned, or maybe not by far and away, but at least in terms of win-loss record and such. Getting a better coach than James Franklin at Penn State is going to be pretty damn difficult. You're going to be taking a shot in the dark. You're not going to be, you're going to have to go below. You're going to have to go to a Clark Lee. You're going to have to go and take a risk on somebody who has never succeeded at that high of a program. LSU went to Notre Dame, which is a comparable program in terms of resources, yada, 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 or at least not Vandy and Penn State. And that's going to be really hard. Whereas Auburn and Florida, the bar is so fucking low to go in and be better than Billy Napier or Hugh Freeze is not going to be that hard. It really is not. It can't be.
No.
They were so bad.
No, they were horrendous.
So that's going to look Penn State is just not as good of a job because they just got, they're the same exact with this new coach as James Franklin, whereas Auburn and Florida are so much better with their new coaches. Their old coaches just fucking sucked. That's what I think is going to happen.
I think all three of those are really close. I think LSU is a cut above, but again, it's not a significant cut above. And I think there's a lot of things with LSU, just what you mentioned, maybe you get some of those at Penn State because obviously they just fired a guy that was on the doorstep of a national championship
within the calendar year.
But LSU, I mean, listen, we're talking about a coach that just got fired here in Brian Kelly. And I know there were outside circumstances, being the cultural fit, being the relationships he had with the ADs and stuff like that, that weren't exactly rock solid, that obviously played into this. But we're talking about a program that won the SEC West in his first year, produced a Heisman winner, had won at least 9 games in every year. And who knows how this season would have played out, but it looked like another 8 or 9 win season based on their remaining schedule, which isn't, it's okay. Like, it's not, but LSU standard is like, you come in here, you better win, and you better win big. You better win big, and you better bring a certain kind of attitude with you. So I think the people that are going to be willing to take that job, they got to have some balls on. Like, they got to have some balls. I think there's a good thing about that passion, but I also think there's a negative thing about that passion that could steer away some of the coaching candidates.
That's what I'm saying is, like, you can go to Florida and LSU hired their respective now fired head coaches in the same exact cycle. And Brian Kelly was fired a game or two after Billy Napier. And if you go look at their respective, overall records at Florida and LSU respectively, it's not even close. It's not even close. Wanting to talk about a Heisman winner, an SEC championship appearance, all of those things. And you're looking at Florida, and they had, a couple of over 500 seasons,
39-14 compared to 22-23.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's what it is. And I think, the leash might even be greater for the next coach as long as they can produce some 7 and 8 win seasons. Like you said, like the
bar is so low at Auburn.
There are some attractive aspects to Florida and Auburn.
Like, you come to LSU and you are expected to immediately turn the ship around.
And in a way, in this new era of college football, it's been proven to be done very easily because they will just sit there and buy the roster. Like, you don't have to go out there and recruit it. It's like, hey, all the players they want to keep, like LSU will sit there and be like, hold on tight. We got a good coach coming and we'll pay you. And by the way, we're going to go buy a transfer portal class. We're going to give you all the tools needed to succeed. But I do think you get that at Florida still. I do think you get that in Auburn. So I
think you do at Penn State.
Yeah,
too.
I think you get, for sure at Penn State. I wasn't trying to exclude them. I think all of those jobs, you're going to get everything you need to be successful immediately. They just come with different standards, different sets of expectations. And to some coaches, Auburn and Florida might be a more attractive. To some people, they might dream of the glory that you can get at a place like LSU or Penn State because you will be a king. Straight up. There is just no doubt. I mean, you have people, and they're not very smart people, that are willing to completely overlook the fact that Ed Orgeron completely crashed the program, but he brought us a natty in 2009 and are naming him a head coach candidate.
I saw some moron that works for Barstool wanting him back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, and it's not just her. There are several people that will actually be like, well, they could go back to Edo. I'm like, guys, did you forget what happened? And
he was fucking Booster's wife.
And I love Coach O. Like, I love him.
This guy did not care about coaching football.
This guy's a goddamn king in Louisiana forever, just for having that one season. So there is a very aspect that people will completely just like ignore the fact that he ran the program into the ground. But he won't. Hey, 2019 was pretty sick.
He has a funny voice, and he had a great season.
And he loves Louisiana. And he loves like that.
That's what's so important. I think I see a lot of LSU people. I had a bunch of friends, Georgia friends, Alabama friends. They texted me, congratulations on Lane Kiffin. And first of all, I just want to say, like, are we sure Lane Kiffin's going to leave? I keep seeing people being like, he'd be a moron to leave Ole Miss for LSU. And pre-NIL era, I would agree with you. We're not in that era anymore. And while LSU still has more resources than Ole Miss, they have a more dedicated fan base. They have a hotbed for recruiting, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on and on and on. It's just a different day and age. It's not a slam dunk like some LSU fans want it to be. And even if it were, I need somebody who is going to ingrain themselves into Louisiana culture. Brian Kelly didn't even try. I mean, I heard Josh Pate talk about today whenever he got fired Sunday. He's talking about he was on the beach, not metaphorically, literally on the beach during like the busiest recruiting times of the year. Like, they were bringing in kids that Brian Kelly had never even fought. I need an absolute dog. I don't care if he isn't proven. I need a Brent Key, Clark Lee, Kenny Dillingham type that is going to be 365, 24/7. His wife hates the fact that she never sees him. He doesn't even know his kids' names because he's at the complex all day, all long. The fucking beach during, like, I don't care if he's not exactly as proven as Lane Kiffin might be, but from an LSU fan, I need somebody that bleeds purple and gold. It's that simple. I need you to want to be here more than we want you to be.
And here's the thing, man. That's the biggest thing with Brian Kelly that people are talking about. Bad fit, not bad. It's not about who.
It wasn't even fit.
It's not about being in. Care. Yeah, it's not about being in Louisiana. Like that place is special, and that they're gonna treat you like a god. And and it felt like the number one thing on Brian Kelly's thing, and why he said he's like, I want to be treated like a god. Yeah. Now, he didn't want to go out there and do the hard work that it took, and that's not just recruiting. That's being a part of the community, being a part of the culture. Like you don't have to be from Louisiana. I'm not from Louisiana. You're not from Louisiana. But anybody that's been to Louisiana or been around LSU understands this. Like, there's a reason the fucking governor is involved in these meetings. Like, it's
different.
It's a different place. There's a reason why I got a text about inside LSU information from some people that have no connections. Like, it's just Louisiana. Like, people know things about the program before anybody knows, because everybody knows each other and everybody has a higher up, a man in that room. And if you're willing to give your time and money and love to LSU, it will be reciprocated, because everybody cares about that football program. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to just care, because anybody that's been to Louisiana and been associated with that school or program falls in love with it. Yeah. Brian Kelly never fell in love with it, never cared about it.
Like, everybody hates Alabama or Ohio State, Texas, Penn State even. LSU was one of those, unless you were Bama or A&M, like a direct rival of LSU. LSU was like universally loved, and 2019 had a lot to do with that. Everybody other than Alabama and A&M fans were rooting for LSU during that 2019 national championship. The vibes, the swag, just the coolness of the program is completely gone. Brian Kelly made everyone hate us. And I'm not here looking for approval. I don't care if people like me. I'm just trying to that is a damning indictment of who he is as a person and what he has done to this program. Fortunately, whoever's taking over for him is taking over a way better situation than when he took over.
Yeah, so let's play, and this is the coaching carousel game. Let's go through some of these candidates that are going to be mentioned alongside all these jobs. And some of them, to me, are extremely unrealistic. And I don't ask, you don't have to give me a percentage, but just kind of your idea on some of these targets. Like Marcus Freeman, any chance he leaves Notre Dame for anything? No shot. Like zero. I'm with you. I think it's zero. Signetti.
Zero. I give you a percentage, maybe like 10%.
Yeah, I would say like 2 or 3.
He's like 60 something years old. He is now he's going to have a statue in Indiana. I mean, I don't know why.
I don't know what else you could want. Like, you clearly have and first of all, Indiana's got a shit ton of money, and they will pour more money into that. Like, look at their basketball.
And they have
program.
a legitimate shot. They've got a good.
They've got a team that can win the championship. Like, it's like, what else does he need? So I'm with you. I don't see any more money. Like, we just got
you want a harder challenge?
Yeah, it's just like, give me a break. Like, you got a soft walk. You got a cake-walk to the college football playoff every single season. Yep. You're going to get all the resources you need. You're going to go down as a god. Like, why ruin all that? To me, Signetti, I unless he's just
it's just the timing of it too. Whereas, like, people would say that about Brian Kelly years ago, but Brian Kelly he kept falling short of the national championship. It's like Signetti is just now at that point where, like, maybe in 4 or 5 years when he gets to that point, he's like, I cannot win a national championship here. Then maybe, but we're not at that point yet.
Yeah, to me, that's about as close to zero as you can get. Dillingham,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I think very high.
I feel bad for Arizona State because I like him there.
Where do you see him fitting? Like, in this entire picture?
Where's he even from? I don't even know.
I think he has Arizona ties. He's a Cardinals fan. I don't know if that just comes from him being there.
I mean, I don't buy into the whole, like, yeah, we'd all love to have Brent Key alumni, Clark Lee alumni, Kirby Smart alumni. The fact of the matter is is if you are just a genuine person, you're going to fit in just about anywhere. Brian Kelly is not a genuine person. Like, I think Dillingham, any single one of these SEC schools that want Dillingham, other than maybe Arkansas, he's going.
Yeah.
Like, I think he might turn down Arkansas, maybe. But Florida, Auburn, LSU, if they're calling Dillingham, he's leaving.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'd imagine he's going to get calls from all three of those schools. I don't know if it would be LSU. Like, I don't know if he would be. I don't think he'd be their top choice. And maybe they're able to get their top choice. Maybe they're not. I mean, it's very real. Like I said, the expectations are going to play a factor that are going to come with LSU, and a lot of other stuff that is going to play a factor. Obviously they are the most attractive opening, but I think it's going to take a certain time a person to leave if they're already have their roots somewhere to leave for that job. Which brings me to two other that I kind of have in that Dillingham kind of category, and it's Vandy and Georgia Tech. Obviously, Georgia Tech fans out there, you don't, close your ears or whatever, but it's just the reality of the situation. Brent Key is going to be at the top of the realistic list of a lot of these openings.
I talked to my inside source. He just so happens to be a high school best friend's dad, but they are preparing to make him a very, very, very attractive offer. I don't know what to say about that because even Georgia Tech's best offer probably cannot still match whether you're talking about personal salary, coaching staff salary. You now have a front office because there's GMs at these schools now, NIL, resources outside of the actual football roster and coaching staff. They still can't match Auburn, Florida, and LSU, or even Penn State. I really, I'm an LSU fan first and foremost, but I really don't want Brent Key to leave. And if he does leave, I would not mind him one bit in Baton Rouge. He's the kind of stuff. He's got the kind of stuff that would play in anywhere in the country. Hard-nosed guys, offensive linemen, play anywhere. That'll especially fucking play in Louisiana.
Yeah, I like Brent Key.
I hope he
does. I'm right there with you. Like as 50-50. Someone who's happy with Georgia Tech and the success they've had, and if you watch this show, we both didn't go to Georgia Tech. We sit here and rant about how much we love Georgia Tech all the time. Like we don't. I don't want to see Georgia Tech go back to the slums of being the desert of the ACC. Like they've got something good there. Do everything you can to keep them. Hopefully it's enough. And that's all you can do. Like that's frankly all you can do. I think I would say 30% chance he leaves. I think he's going to have to get to me. I guess if one of the big four comes offering though, it's hard to say no. One of the big four that we've been talking about, it's hard to say no.
We're talking about we're talking tiers, not just one tier. We're talking multiple tiers.
Yeah.
Like Georgia Tech is tier 3. Then you've got tier 2, I don't even know, Kentucky or and then you've got the LSUs, the Floridas, the Auburns, the Penn States. I just don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to put it at below 50% that he leaves.
I hope he does not leave.
I'm going to put it at 40.
I'll put that out.
Clark Lee's super interesting too. Because what Clark Lee's done at Vanderbilt.
So impressive.
I mean, Georgia Tech, doing it at Georgia Tech's hard. Doing it at Vandy,
way harder.
It is tough. And
look at the teams they've beat.
I know he's alumni, but I've said this about Vandy. I mean, they are a damn good. They are a really a good football team. They play good football on both. It's not just Diego Pavia magic. Their defense is good.
He's got Johnny Manziel cockiness without the Johnny Manziel play.
Yep. Hey, listen, it is what it is. You win it. You win. You shut everyone up. Vanderbilt's winning right now. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of their season goes. Very easily could find themselves in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Clark Lee, he's got to be at the top of most people's realistic lists. I mean, to me, Brent Key and Clark Lee, I would go there before I'd go Dillingham. And I know Dillingham's kind of like a funnier personality that you'd kind of like to root for, and it's fiery and stuff.
I think Brent Key is more likely I think Clark Lee is more likely to leave his school than Brent Key is to leave his school, because while we all can pretend and buy into this Cinderella story, the simple fact of the matter is Vandy they have the resources to put towards the football program. Will they? They put a ton of money towards that baseball program, and we know they're nerds. In the SEC, you're going to have to field a $20 million roster to win a national championship. That's just a simple fact of the matter. In today's NFL, or in today, it is the NFL basically. And you're never going to get that at Vandy. I see people going, you know what our endowment is? Do you know how many alumni we have? Well, motherfucker, you got a high school stadium. That epitomizes how much resources your school is willing to put to your football program.
I think that's a big part of it. Like, and Bobby Dodd ain't great. Yeah. Bobby Dodd ain't nothing special, but it ain't Vandy.
It ain't Vandy.
Like Vandy is like it's a road joke. It's a road game every time they play in there. I mean, you can't be serious about winning championships in the SEC when you're playing on the road every time you play at home. Yep. And to me, I'm with you. I think Clark Lee gets one. Clark, and it's I almost don't want to say it because it's the same path James Franklin took, but it's that kind of seems
I wouldn't be shocked if he went to Penn State.
And I think that would be a great hire for Penn State. I don't think they would get better. I think they'd get better next year. Like, I think it would be, I mean, obviously they had a really bad year, but I'm just talking about like an actual program.
From Penn State's perspective, that's the kind of hope that they have to have. They have to hope going from Mark Richt to Kirby Smart. That is the kind of segue they are going to have to be hoping for. And I think Clark Lee, you make a good point that like Clark Lee is squeezing more out of his roster than just about anybody in college football. Now, there's a couple of arguments to be made about some other ones, but in terms of getting the absolute most out of his roster, Clark Lee is up there. Yep. And you give him that Penn State roster.
Now another one of the big ones. I think the biggest one that is realistic, like I'd still put him in the realistic kind of, not Marcus Freeman, not Cignetti. It's Lane Kiffin.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Dan Lanning. I see people saying,
no,
but Dan Lanning's not fucking leaving.
I mean, to me, Dan Lanning I would actually put him 2% above
Dan
Cignetti.
Lanning.
2%. I would put him at 5.
I think Cignetti would leave before Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning has infinite money. In a decently easy, I mean, not like it's not the SEC. I just think I guess the reason none of the openings, like he might come back for Bama or Georgia, but that's it. He's not coming to LSU. He's definitely not going to Florida or Auburn.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, the only reason I would put him slightly above Cignetti, I just don't see any way Freeman leaves. I guess you could put him in that same category.
I think all three of those guys are not. I think all three of those guys. Well, Cignetti already did, but the other two guys are about to sign. It's that time of the year.
Yeah,
everyone's getting extensions or they're getting fired.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I said 5%, whatever. I'm not. Don't put your money on it unless you get 25 to 1 odds. Then it's positive EV.
Whatever. Oh, I guess. I think Lane is the best and most established big game coach or like a big program coach that is at least possible to leave. Like in terms of the Dillinghams, the Whittinghams, the Summeralls.
He's the only one that's
the Keys.
And I guess you could say Lee is proven because he is doing it in the SEC.
I guess that's true.
But Kiffin has done it multiple times.
Yeah.
And yes, that roster, he fucked up a little bit. We've talked about that plenty of times last year. They easily could have gone undefeated and made a real push. I thought they were the best team in the country right there with Ohio State. Would have loved to see that game. It's like the game we never got to see. Yeah, I thought we eliminated that with the 12-team playoff, but they still – maybe we should have 24 teams. All right, so to me, Lane, I'd put at 20%.
Yeah.
I'd put at 20%.
Okay. I'm okay with
that. I think everyone's missing the boat. It's LSU or it's nothing. And that's I don't think he's considering Florida. I don't think he'd consider Auburn. I don't think he'd consider Penn State. It would be LSU or nothing. Like, I'd give him a 20% chance of leaving for LSU because I think LSU is a significantly better job than Ole Miss. I think now you could even point to the fact that, his daughter is leaving Ole Miss.
Is she?
No. Just like, she's getting older.
I was like, she's transferring.
No. Well, she spends more time in Louisiana than she does Ole Miss now that she's dating old Whit Weeks. But I do think, that was something that if you watch the Lane Kiffin documentary, played a big role in him staying a couple years ago when Auburn was there, was being there with his family, being there for his daughter and stuff like that. Obviously, as times change, she's going to move off from college if the right opportunity. I don't think the right opportunity right now is Auburn or Florida. I don't even know if those jobs they're better than Ole Miss, but how much better? I don't know if it's that much. Now, LSU, I think, is a big enough jump. And frankly, when we talk about pairings, I think Lane Kiffin would be the embodiment of everything that the LSU wants. It's a little bit of a different style, but a guy embracing that kind of culture, embracing that kind of swagger, obviously I think there would be a logical fit there. So to me, I think it's LSU or nothing. I'm still not saying it's high. I think it's 20%. I think they've proven they can win a national championship at Ole Miss.
I think this season will tell a lot.
Yeah.
Like, let's see how far they go.
Yeah. Like I said, 20%.
He's not going to make a decision right now.
No.
And he's not going to make a decision.
He's trying to win a national championship right now.
So I think that you could increase or decrease your odds depending on how their season ends and when it ends. Excuse me. If it ends at the hands of a team that is clearly more talented than them, then obviously you're talking about increasing those odds. If you're talking about, they were right there, they were so close and they lost on some bullshit fucking play or, whatever it might be, but it was a close game, you could decrease those odds. I think it's that simple.
Yeah.
Like,
or if they don't make it at all.
That's another. I mean, they still got to play Mississippi State. Mississippi State blew it last week against Texas, but they are still a tough out. I don't know what the rest of their Ole Miss schedule looks like, but I mean, let's just see. Like, you go and play Georgia again in the playoffs,
and you lose by 30.
Now you're
talking. Or you go play Indiana and lose by 30.
I would be very shocked. But if that happened, LSU fans who want Lane Kiffin, you should be really happy about that. If you're an LSU fan or any other fan other than Ole Miss, and honestly, I don't know who I want. I honestly don't. But I have enough Ole Miss fans. I think it'd be pretty fucking funny if we just stole their coach.
No, I mean,
like, I am coming to the dance without a date, and I'm going home with yours. That's fucking hilarious.
Here's the other thing to consider about Lane. Like, obviously, LSU and Ole Miss have a rivalry. SEC West, you go look at the three little bubble teams that we play every single season. Ole Miss is
one of the oldest rivalries.
Yeah, Ole Miss is on there. Like, and Lane loves a good headline. Lane doesn't mind being in the middle of it. Lane seems to thrive on it now.
Relishes.
Seems to thrive on it now. But there's difference between making some headlines on Twitter and being the most hated man in another place and then having to go to a place where you have a ton of expectations to win immediately. Like, that's not the easiest. Like, you got to have a lot of utmost confidence in who you are as a coach and what you're able to do, that you're going to go in there and win, or that thing's going to sour and you're going to have another Tennessee situation where you left for USC. And he did that and it didn't work out. And
I honestly don't see him leaving because I think that Ole Miss team last year, had they not just shit their pants, they could have won a national championship.
We're trailing by a total of less than a minute and lost 3 games. Incredible
That's
stuff.
Crazy.
Incredible
That's
stuff.
Absolutely crazy.
They literally were not like trailing the entire season. And
I think if you're LSU, Auburn, Penn State, and Florida, you're looking at Dillingham, Summerall, Lee, Key, Whittingham.
Where does
Brian Hartline?
Where does the Summerall stuff call?
Brian Hartline.
I don't see any chance LSU even
Brian Hartline
gives Summerall. No, they're not going to get Brian Hartline.
Dude, I'm telling you,
it's just
that guy's a dog.
And he could be a dog. He's going to be a dog for
And get the Joe Brady
Arkansas
shit out of our comments before it even gets there. He's not coming back to college football. Who else in the Kelvin Shepard? I would be absolutely shocked. I actually think Kelvin Shepard would be a great college football coach. I do not, especially at LSU, obviously. He is not leaving he is on the path of becoming an NFL head coach. Like, he's in the Lions organization. They just sent 2 coordinators off to be head coaches. He is up next. Like, it is not, he would be taking a step down. He's not coming back to LSU unless he just goes back.
These days the college coaches are making so much goddamn money. I mean,
well, it's not even about the money. It's about the fact that, first of all, it's less time consuming to be an NFL head coach.
That's facts.
And you're at the pinnacle of the sport. Like, nobody wants to be, like Nick Saban tried to be a great college coach and then become a great NFL coach, realized like, hey, this owner's going to fuck me, went back. Like, I know people want to make it the end all be all that college football. And it is to me, it is, the Christ and Lord, our Savior is the SEC, but like these guys are the ultimate competitors. Yeah, they want to win at the highest level.
In a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl. I mean, how many people watch the goddamn Super Bowl? 200 million people every single year. So yeah, I mean, it is the Super Bowl. I'm with you there. Yeah, I don't think, but a little bit difference because you are. I don't see it. Don't get me wrong.
The
but
alumni factor, I guess.
I mean, I remember back when Alabama was going through these things and who was going to be the next, replacement for Saban before he even retired. And the big name that always came up, DeMeco Ryans. Now, DeMeco Ryans got that head coaching job before the Alabama position. So obviously those things, never came to fruition. But I do wonder, had that job come open and Alabama came calling to DeMeco Ryans while he was still defensive coordinator, if that would have been a possibility. But like you said, like you said, I'm with you for the most part. I don't think the Summerall thing has as much legs as people. I don't understand the Summerall thing. I mean, congrats, you're an average group of 5 team. I mean, like a slightly above average. Like, you're going to come coach at LSU. Like, get the fuck out of here. No fucking way. Like, I saw that he has the best odds. I'm like, wow, people are really just burning fucking money. Like, we're going to go
all of those odds are
we're going to go fucking hire Pat Summerall. Like, he's a good coach, and maybe he turns out to be a great coach. That's just not happening at LSU. Yeah. Maybe that's some shit Florida does, and you saw that worked out. 22.
It is literally Billy Napier.
22.
And Billy Napier had more success at that level than
I did. I saw that. And listen, he's going to be very live for a lot of these opportunities. He ain't getting the LSU coaching job. I would be rolling.
You had
over.
to say it right now.
I'd be rolling over. It's tough.
The landscape is not great.
I
think it's going to be similar as, where it was Brian Kelly. Like, everybody was expecting it to be Lincoln Riley, and then it was Brian Kelly. Like, I think it's going to be something along those lines where it's like everybody.
So Marcus Freeman,
Lane Kiffin, and it's just going to be somebody else entirely.
I think
just somebody you're not even looking at.
I think Lane Kiffin's going to have a field day with it on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
That's going to happen.
It's going to be the great reset.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin's going to have a field day. I think
bring me Kirby Smart.
The only thing I can really guarantee you is how the conversations are going to go in terms of where they're going to go, right? And it's going to start. The first call that LSU is going to put out there, and I can bet is going to be Nick Saban. Yeah. Like, they're going to make him say, "Shut the fuck up." Like,
$25 million a year.
Yeah, I mean,
put this on speakerphone, Miss Terry. $25 million a year.
That is happening. Like, I would bet any amount of dollars they'll be like, blank check. You come take over our program. They will do that. Now, Nick Saban, I would say he'll say roll tide and hang up the phone. Yeah. And then I think the next pivot will be to Lane Kiffin, who I gave a 20% chance to, which I think is probably be up near the highest that I think, because I think he gets the job if he wants it. I think that's because Nick Saban is for surely not doing this, as much as I would love to convince myself that he is. And then I think that's when you go into the Brent Keys and the Clark Lees and the Dillinghams. I think those are the next 3 people that probably get the call. I can't really think I'm trying to imagine what you said, which is the Brian Kelly, like, who is that coach in college football that's kind of stagnant and doesn't seem like they're going to win. But that was like
Oregon. It's not Day.
That's James Franklin.
It's not it's not Georgia.
He's free if you want him.
It's not Bama. It's not Texas. It's not going to be A&M. It's not going to be USC. It's not going to be Lincoln Riley.
Sharon Moore. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. But the sooner Michigan fires Sharon Moore, the better they'll be, but they should wait a second.
Funniest hires in terms of pure, I'm going to laugh at their respective fan bases, would be Lane Kiffin for a lot of the reasons there being a rivalry. But number one funniest would be Marcus Freeman. Like, we fucking did it again. They're like,
I would love Marcus Freeman too.
Without a doubt. And listen, I think that's another one of those calls that is going to happen.
They might as well make it.
They're going to make
the call. Do is say no.
They're going to make that call. So if you want to do the pecking order, it goes Nick Saban, Franklin or not Franklin.
Fuck it, give Kirby a call.
Marcus Freeman. Oh, they'll give it. All of those things will be given.
Just give his agent a call and be like, "Hey, man, the police in Baton Rouge will give anything away. No speeding tickets in Baton Rouge."
Yeah, that might be your only real pitch that you would have. But realistically, I think that the conversations start with Lane Kiffin, and then you get into those guys that we just talked about. And the real interesting question gets to be let's say it's Kiffin, Key, and Lee. And then it's Dillingham. Once you get past Kiffin, and then if you get told no by Key and Lee, Are you love Dillingham? Listen, it gets scary. It gets scary, and then you start making frenzy phone calls. Like, you sure you don't want this? How much money do we have to go?
I want to say this that feels different than last cycle for at least the Tigers is I seriously felt like when we fired O, there was like a plan. I mean, and I do genuinely believe that. This feels like Fat Man, whatever his name, AD, got into a room with BK and made an emotional decision. And it probably needed to be made, but like they weren't workshopping names Sunday night or Saturday night before the Sunday conversation.
I think
it was a knee-jerk reaction.
I think this had been brewing, though. I think this had been brewing because this wasn't the first.
Also, get John Gruden's name off of my fucking time.
This wasn't. Listen, for fun purposes, fuck it. But for realistic purposes,
give me a break.
He's not going to be the next head coach of LSU.
Sean McVay, though.
I did
saw somebody say Sean McVay.
I saw a message board geniuses. I also saw a lot of people trolling a Luke Fickell's name in there.
Oh God, Brian Hartline.
He'll bring the toughness.
Brian Hartline would do numbers at LSU. We might not win a national championship, but we will cement ourselves as wide receiver U. And sometimes it's about the consolation prize. Sometimes.
If you like what you saw, let us know in the comments who you think each one of these head coaching jobs are going to. I think.
What about Dion?
Okay. And that's why you have to hit the subscribe button. We will be back with you later in the week.